Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the session on YAML. So, in this particular sessions, we will understand or work with YAML scalar data types. We'll work with lists and arrays, understand data types, maps, and dictionaries, and we'll combine multiple data structures in YAML. Work with YAML anchors and aliases, understand tags and importance and different types of tags, and we will understand YAML in configuration files, understand YAML programming languages and the best practices for YAML, and we will use a lot of examples throughout this course, as well as we'll understand some use cases. That is the agenda for this complete course. Now, first of all, let us deep dive into YAML. Let's introduce you to YAML. So, different topics that we will understand here is, first of all, we'll understand what is YAML, history and purpose of YAML, syntax and structure that is used, and basic data types in YAML like scalars, lists, and maps. And we'll try and understand YAML versus other configuration languages. What is the difference? That is what we are going to look into this particular chapter. Now, what is YAML? To give you a definition, YAML, it stands for YAML Ain't Markup Language, or sometimes recursively we can say YAML Ain't Markup Language. Now, the speciality of this language is this is human readable data serialization standard that can be used in conjunction with any programming language and is often used to write configuration files. So it is very, very widely used when you want to write some configuration files. YAML is the preferred language because it can work with conjunction of any other programming languages. That is the beauty of it. Some of the key points that we need to remember is that YAML is often used for configuration files and data interchange between languages that may not share the same native data structures. Okay, that is very important key point. It can exchange the data between the languages. Now, to write this YAML configuration files, right? YAML uses indentation and colons to define data structures. Okay, what is indentation? We will see one example, then we'll get a better understanding. Now, if you look at an example, you see how YAML file is written. It is written in the form of key value pairs. Here, name is key and the value of the person John Doe is value. It is separated with a colon, and after colon there's a space. Okay, you see how human readable it is very easy, right? That's how, that is a simple YAML file for you guys. Now let's discuss a little bit history about YAML. YAML was first proposed by Clark Evans in 2001, and it was later redefined and standardized by Igni.net and Oren Benkiki. Now, why? What is the use of this language, or what is the purpose of this language? YAML aims to provide a human friendly data serialization format that can be easily read and written by humans. So, as humans, we can write this language or read this language very, very easily. That is the purpose of YAML. Now, let us understand a little bit about YAML syntax and structure. As I told you, YAML uses indentation to represent data structures. Indentation means giving spaces. So the number of spaces used for indentation must be consistent. We can use 2 spaces, we can use 4 spaces, but we have to make sure the number of spaces is consistent. And the syntax, YAML language, it follows, it collects the data or represents the data in a key value pairs. Those are represented by column. Structure, YAML documents consist of one or more key value pairs, each pair separated by a new line character. Okay. Let's look at example here. Here we have name as one key value pair, age as another key value pair, and in address there are lot of key values. Okay, this is example of multiple key value pairs in a YAML file. Now let us understand the basic data types in YAML. YAML has multiple data types. One is scalars, list, and maps. So under scalars are basically single values like numbers, strings, boolean like true or false in YAML. They can be represented without any special characters. Those are called as scalars. Now lists are ordered collection of items. They are represented by using something called as a hyphen. Okay, and followed by a space. Hyphen should follow with a space. Now what are maps? Maps are collection of key value pairs. If you see here, list is collection of items. Maps are collection of key value pairs. They are represented using a combination of key and value pairs. Now let me show you an example. You see here, in this example, there are scalars, there are lists and maps. You see the first one name, just the name is, it's a key value pair, age 30, okay. And you see hobbies are what? These are list of items. If you see here, list, what is that? They are collection of items. Now if you see a list, it is a collection of items. Now maps is a collection of key value pairs. So you see address, street is one key value pair, city is one key value pair, state is one key value pair. So this is a data type of key map. This is a data type of lists. This is data type of scalars. Okay. So you have list, scalars, and maps. So this is how data types are defined in YAML. Now there is a lot of other languages also, right? How different YAML is from them? Let us see here. Now YAML was JSON. YAML is more human readable and writable, making it easier for non-programmers to work with. JSON is stricter and requires codes around keys and string values. YAML is less verbose and easier to read than XML. YAML requires explicit opening and closing tags for the elements. Let us see the example here. Now, if you look at an example, let's say if I have to take a name of a person and age of the person, we can simply say name and age. Okay. Now, same thing in JSON, it is represented as, you see there is quotations, there is comma, and if it is represented in XML, it requires tags for every line. So if you see all this, if you compare with all this, YAML clearly stands out in the simplicity to the way to read and write the language. All right, that's all I have for this chapter, guys. In this chapter, we have simply discuss about what is YAML, history and purpose of YAML, syntaxes and structures, basic data types in YAML and other configuration languages. That is what we have understood in this chapter. See you guys in the next chapter. Take care.